Hello everyone. The second half of August has a lot of exciting things in store, starting with the Sun entering Virgo on the 22nd and then the new moon in Virgo on the very next day at 0 degrees. This new moon in Virgo is really potent and powerful because it's aspecting all kinds of planets. Also, it's kicking off the Virgo season, which is going to lead us into eclipse season the following month of September. So there's a lot to talk about for each sign. Before we get into it, you're watching vickieverlie, and I'm at vickieverlie.com, and you're watching the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube. Do not be fooled by imposters. We're going to go sign by sign and do some tarot for everybody, and the decks we're going to be using is first my Holy Hamza deck, and then we're going to also use the Morgan Greer Tarot, which has a similar back. When I made the back of it, I was so worried. I was like, oh no, did I copy the Morgan Greer? But I think it's fine. You guys will have to let me know. I think it's quite different when you hold them side by side. But anyways, let's get into the sign by sign, and the first sign we're going to do is the sign of Aries. So we're going to shuffle and get one Holy Hamza card, and then we're going to put 3 of the tarot around for clarification. So what is up for Aries? What's the Aries need to know? Or what is coming in energetically for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, anybody who has Aries in their chart for the second half of August of 2025. Got the lineage card. So the lineage card is about like your own ancestry. I'll hold it up in a second. I'm trying a different way to have the booklet in front of me. Here we go. Yeah, I'd like you to take a look at it. Take a look at the card, and if you want to freeze the video, pause the video, and look at some of the background words, because there are these background words there that can give you some further insights. But basically, it's about the roots of our tree, the DNA, and it's also about the messages that are coming around with the different birds and the lucky pennies and stuff. The family tree, it says heritage. This is my own words, by the way. This is my deck that I designed, and these are the words that I wrote to go along with it. I just don't have all 50 cards memorized, okay? I wrote these words, so I'm not just reading from a booklet. Okay, heritage, ancestors, descendants. The family tree connects us all. The past carries us into the future. We are all connected through the roots of our family tree and through our DNA. The ones who are left are still with us and show up through signs and symbols. The lucky penny found on the ground, the joyful chirping of the cardinal, the fluttering of the wings of the butterfly. Pay attention, as they are sending us messages all the time. This card is a reminder to do your soul work of our ancestral healing. We all incarnate into families where we can do the most good, breaking the chains of negative patterning so that future generations may thrive. It's interesting that this came up too, because this isn't really an astrology reading, but astrology-wise, that Venus-Jupiter conjunction, which occurred on the 12th, you know, that was also in your 4th house of family and ancestry and everything. So it's interesting that you got this card as well. But let's do 3 cards for Aries for the second half for clarification or additional information. 1, 2, 3. We have the Ace of Cups, and we have secondly with the King of Pentacles, and then third we have the Queen of Fire. That's you for most people. Well, that's a representation of you. The Queen of Fire or the Queen of Rods. Now let's see if we can get this a little better aligned. Always little adjustments for Aries reading because you're the first, right? So it looks as though a new beginning can be forged or happen. Now it seems to be, since this is a representation of you, right, Aries, it could be another fire sign as well. So the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. But even her wand is pointing right up at the King of Pentacles, the DNA. It's interesting that the future DNA is winding up towards this King of Pentacles up here. So for some of you, it could be you. Maybe you're starting a new relationship, and it's going to lead to future descendants down your DNA will be carried on, you know, through this thing. Or even if you're past that age of childbearing, maybe it's your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew, you know, somebody else in the family line that is going to go forward. For some of you, I feel like, even if none of that applies, because there's nothing indicating a baby necessarily, although it definitely could be with the Ace of Cups, it could just be the beginning of this relationship on whatever level. Now, the beginning of this relationship this, you may find somebody that you're working with on whatever level. It could even be like a spiritual teacher, a counselor, a coach, or somebody like that. A higher authority, my guides are saying. But it could be where the two of you have the same, which is probably true most of the time anyway, right? The two of you have the same core issues or family things that you're trying to work out, and that the two of you together, whatever the case, it just feels like it's very strong for a compatible teamwork, a coupling of some sort. Whether, now Pentacles, again, this could be a business partnership or something like that. But for Ace of Cups, it's going to be pleasant. I think for a lot of people, there's a strong emotional connection, maybe a love affair, maybe just a creative partner that you're working with creatively, maybe all of the above. But a lot of joy and happiness is coming from the interaction here. And for many, it could actually be tied into your soul lineage, maybe soul lineage too, because, it could be a past life for sure. But probably have some similar things that you're going to work on in this lifetime, or your stuff matches theirs, You're one side of the equation, and that often happens too, right? Okay, let me move these out of the way, because we're going to move on to the next sign of Taurus. I brought my bell. I'm going to clear the air, clear the energy. Didn't seem like it was really all that loud on the last one, so we're going to keep using it. I like that. My guides were telling me that I need to do a sound healing in between each ones. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the sign of Taurus. Well, all this Virgo stuff very much in trine with your energy, a lot of flow. So it could be good, favorable and positive season for you coming up here, Taurus. What is this card for Taurus, the second half of August as we move into Virgo season? The Wish card, look at that. Lucky you. So the Wish card is simply that. It's like the Wish card in the tarot. I totally, it's an ode to the tarot Wish card. I'm going to try to hold it still. Take a look at some of these background words in the cursive words in the background and see if anything stands out to you, because that could be a message for you too. But yeah, this is the Wish card, and it's even number 9. I even, paid ode to the number 9 for, the 9 of Cups in the tarot. Success, fruition, attainment. Your wish is coming true, a time of great abundance. This card signifies a yes to your question when it shows up in the spread. Thank your lucky stars and count your blessings, which are many. You are on a roll and the gifts keep coming. Make a wish and trust that the universe has got your back, for you are aligning with divine synchronicity. Success, fulfillment, happiness, and satisfaction. Wonderful things are unfolding in your life. Enjoy. All right. Well, that looks beautiful for our Taurus friends. Oops, are these the same cards from before? Okay, they're not, because two of them kind of flipped out here. The Three of Swords, the Knight of Rods, and I'm just going to shuffle there. I was just going to shuffle and let one come out, and it came out almost immediately. Okay, well, some of you are really ready to move on, I want to say. Let's move them down so you can see them on the camera. That would help, right? Okay, so some of you are really ready to move on. You've been through some heartache and some suffering. You're ready to move on to the next thing here. Now, Knight of Rods, Knight of Fire. So this is fire sign energy. You may be attracted to or interested in a fire sign person, a Leo, an Aries, or a Sagittarius. But also the fire sign people, the Knight of Rods, it's very much a sexual thing. It's very much a sexual attraction. The rods are a phallic symbol, particularly when paired with the lovers. And on this lovers, it is really very, some lovers cards are really just sweet. This one is, to me, feels really sexual. You can even see the hair on his butt. I don't know why that's it's sort of something about that, or animalistic, that, embracing that animal side of our nature, because we are an animal in this human form, right? And sex is part of that. So I think I need to cover her even a little better for some people out there that get upset about these things. But anyways, if you can see the hairy butt cheek, just chill out. You don't have to watch the video. But anyways, yeah, so somebody who really lights your fire. I'm hearing, come on baby, light my fire. Yeah. So some of you have been through some major heartache and trauma and things. With Uranus, many Tauruses, relationships have come to an end with the Uranus being in your sign, because you wanted your freedom, or just you've changed and the old relationships are just not a good fit anymore. So maybe some of you have been suffering. But now things are about to change, especially when we move into eclipse season, because I believe, isn't that your 5th house if you're Taurus rising? Let me double check on that. Would that be the 5th house for Taurus? Yeah, so it is. There's going to start be having eclipses in the 5th house of love and romance. So this is particular to the Taurus rising people, but you know, the cards are, it would apply to everybody. So your wish is coming true. I like the way the smoke and stuff kind of goes up. It's almost like, you know how when they rub the bottle and the smoke comes out and poof, the genie's there, or poof, there's your wish, you know, poof, there he is. Poof, there it is. You know, there's the wish to answer to your wish. You know, I just noticed this lizard on his glove, which I don't think I've ever noticed before. But he also, of course, has this cool dragon or whatever on his head up there too. Now, knight could be somebody younger for some people, or somebody, but my guys are using the term youthful exuberance or youthful enthusiasm. So could be more like there's this maybe it's you again, you know, maybe you're having a sexual awakening, a sexual healing. When I get that feeling, he wants a sexual healing, yeah. So maybe you're having a sexual healing, maybe it's a heart connection only for some, maybe it's a passionate other way, maybe it's just a passionate work relationship. It's going to be different for everybody. But with the wish card here, it certainly looks like something really wonderful and bringing great joy and happiness for you. Okay, let me clear the air. Because next we're going to move on to the sign of Gemini. Well, hello, Gemini. Thank you for coming and tuning in for your mid-month update reading. If you can always reach me over here. I keep forgetting to mention my website, but here's your card. The trickster. You know, Gemini, you have that trickster energy, but in the best possible way. You know, take a look at the background words, and if anything grabs your attention, you can freeze the videos, you know, pause the video. Then those things that grab your attention, they could be relevant to you for sure. This, of course, is my Holy Hamza deck that I designed and wrote the words for. Okay. Trickster, deceit, fraud, treachery. All is not what it seems. Be wary of who you trust. The trickster card is warning you that someone may be deceiving you. Tread lightly and stay aware of the subtle clues that something may be amiss. The trickster is very sly and cunning and knows just what to say to lure you into their trap. Trust your gut instincts when you feel something is not quite right. Chances are your intuition and inner knowing are trying to alert you to their ruse. Wow. Well, you know, Gemini, you have that trickster energy, though. I mean, this is meant to be kind of a negative, totally a negative card. But even some of the animal totems on there, you know, the fox, the coyote, the rabbit, copiapelli. I'm not sure if that's how I pronounce it, but they all carry the trickster energy. And as does Gemini. You do carry the trickster energy. And so it may be a part of yourself. I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, but just think about it here. Okay, let me go ahead and shuffle up. Shuffle off to Buffalo, I'm hearing. Well, maybe some of you are going to be shuffling off to Buffalo. If you're in the Buffalo area, you know, there's that cool place, Lilydale, that's right outside of Buffalo. Oh, that's not Buffalo, it's Erie. Never mind. I'm just finishing up. I guess I can spill the beans now about my book. It's going to be coming out on the 18th. Erie, Lake Erie. Okay. But we're talking about Gemini. So there's your first card, Gemini. 1, 2, 3. Second card is Ace of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, and the Magician. So yeah, you can make magic. You know, the trickster is, with the Magician particularly, it could be sort of like a, you know, a magician, because they pull a rabbit out of their hat. You know, they sometimes would wear, the jester back in the day would be the, you know, the sort of like the magician and do tricks and stuff like that. So some of you, maybe if you've been like an amateur magician, some of you, maybe you're going to take it, you know, take it out there. Somebody's going to go to Vegas and do well, I'm picking up. But Ace of Pentacles, so maybe you could start making money, you know, maybe by doing some parties or different things. Whatever the case may be, somebody's offering you something here. And there is a dose of magic involved, my guides are saying. Now, not everybody's going to be a magician, of course, but maybe, whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, because that was the first card that just flipped out. So the Ace of Pentacles, that's a new beginning in money. Is it a new job? Is it a new... It almost seems like it could be a new business venture, you know. With the Ace of with the Magician, who is also like an ace because he's number one. You got these two ones here, Ace of Pentacles and the Magician. So Magician very often is working on your own, working for yourself, having your own business, doing your own thing. And you know, the Four of Cups is an offer, but also some of them are, be wary. You know, if you have multiple offers, maybe you have multiple offers for something you're selling. Be wary, like read between the lines or read the fine print. That's what they're trying to tell me. Because after all, I mean, Mercury retrograde's over as of the 11th, but you're ruled by Mercury, you know, Gemini. So you are Mercury ruled, and it takes a minute. It's not going to be out of the shadow until I think the 20-something, you know. So there's still a little bit of wonky energy going on from this Mercury retrograde. So just be sure to, you know, check over everything. Also with the Magician, I always want to say you need to trust your gut instinct. Your gut instinct is going to guide you to the truest, highest resolution. Is that what they're saying? Resolution to this matter. But it sure looks like some kind of good opportunity to make money, start a business, maybe and do some investing. And again, they keep showing me like the actual magician on stage. So somebody out there, or maybe if you're invited to go to a show like that, maybe it's not you doing the magic show at all. Maybe it's a kid's magic show, or maybe they were showing me Vegas, so maybe you're going to go to Vegas and take in a magician there. Who knows? But next we're going to move on to the sign of Cancer. Well, Cancer, you know, it feels like you're still riding that lucky streak from that beautiful Venus-Jupiter conjunction on the 12th. You know, that energy is still, the ball's still in your court with that one. You know, that energy is still very much active. That was a great boost for many of you. Let's see what the cards have to say for our Cancer, Sun, Rising, Moon people. Riddle me this. I always think of the Batman. And this is the TV Batman. I got into this whole thing on one of the videos. The skinny guy, Frank Gorshin, I think his name was, or George something. But anyways, I think it's Frank Gorshin. But even the color of this thing, I didn't realize it when I was making it until it was done. I'm going, man, that reminds me so much of the green color of the Riddler from the Batman 1960s TV show, with starring Adam West as Batman. That rendition of it. But anyways, so there's a mystery. There's a riddle. There's a mystery, and that middle part is like a it's not a magnifying. I guess a magnifying glass. Is that what they call it? But like how the detectives use. He was watching the detectives. Watching the detectives. That's a good tune. Anyways, let's read up what I wrote about the riddle card. Secret, unknown, mystery. Life is a mystery, waiting to be unraveled. There are times when the answer is unknowable, just as we drink the drink of forgetfulness as we enter into this earthly incarnation. Sometimes the not knowing is what makes life interesting. Perhaps there's a mystery right around the corner, a riddle to be solved, or a mysterious stranger may enter your life. Whatever the case, embrace the mystery in life and enjoy the ride. In some cases, the not knowing is your spirit guide's way of protecting you from something that will only bring you down or deter you from your soul's path. You know, sometimes with this too, I feel like this could be those rooms that you go to, not mystery rooms, you know what I'm talking about, escape rooms, where you go to the escape room and there's mysteries and clues and stuff like that. So maybe going to one of those, you could meet somebody, or it could be important in somebody's life. Let's see here. Let's get 3 cards for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising for second half of August. We have Judgment card, end of a karmic cycle. The Death card, similar energy actually, and the Ace of Cups. So endings and beginnings for sure here. Again, move this down here. Yeah, so the Judgment card is the end of this big cycle. Well, you know, the Jupiter being in your sign also is an end of a 12-year cycle. You know, this comes around only every 12 years. So this is the end of a 12-year cycle. And it can be the end of a karmic thing. And sometimes when we're at the end of this karmic cycle, those are the times when you do get the gift. You do get the gift, you do get the blessing. Now, for some, it might be not till next year, when Jupiter's on its way out. You know, that could be the time frame, perhaps, when you might get that, when you might get that. I wanted to say something else, but the guides are coming through with forgiveness, when you might get that forgiveness. So that's interesting. Oh, I was going to do another one of these cards, but we already did it. Okay. So death, something's coming to an end, but it was something that was a karmic lesson that you needed to go through, and they're showing it to me like you needed to get over that hump, basically. And you're ready to start this new beginning. With the riddle card here, again, you may not understand it. It talks about here about how sometimes your guides are protecting you, or you don't really need to know. Sometimes we don't need to know. As long as we get to where we're supposed to be in our soul growth or in our life path, excuse me, then maybe we don't need to know every little detail. I mean, I feel like you just couldn't know every little detail. It would just make your brain explode. It's too much. Here we have the beautiful Ace of Cups, and this card was already out for somebody, and I didn't even notice this little side bud coming up here. So this also indicates some cycles here, if you notice. This one is at its final stage, and it's at the seed pod. I've never noticed that on this card, but it's brown, so that means it looks like it's at its seed pod. And then this is the new growth, the new cycle. It feels to me more like the blessing showed you the way. The blessing showed you the other way. It showed you a way out of the suffering, out of the bondage almost. I wouldn't be, the devil was here. The other thing is, we've got the 2 major arcana. So when you get major arcana in a tarot spread, you're talking big stuff here. You're talking major, spirit guides and angels at work, doing your soul work. And many times, the big picture of our soul work is not readily apparent to us. We're down here in the trenches, basically, So we're down here in the trenches, and but we still are in tune or are in flow with these big cycles that are occurring in our life. Okay, let me put these aside, and next we're going to move on to the sign of Leo. Okay, Leo, let's see what's going on for you. We're coming to the end of your Leo season, so it's been a fun time for you, I'm sure. Leos always are very much in celebratory mode, so for their birthday, well, all the time. Leos are pretty, you guys are pretty, you're the party sign. You're 5th house, that's party, fun, celebration, all that good stuff. Okay, let's get the card for Leo for the second half of August as we come to the end of Leo season and move into Virgo. Death. Well, death is a big change. It's just like the death in the tarot, basically. Take a look at, if you want to, take a look and pause the video and take a look at some of those background words and see if any of those stand out to you, because that's how you can really get that message. Well, a cycle of life, death comes to us all. Yeah, death comes to us all. I mean, today I'm actually recording this on Mercury going direct on the 11th, my mom's birthday. And it's 20-year anniversary of her passing. And I'm the same age that she was when she passed. She passed 2 months before her birthday. So if I make it to October of this year, I will have outlived her. I already outlived my dad, So, you start thinking of it. Could be actually like thinking about your mortality. But most of the time, the death card is just a big change in your life. And we had just had the death card in the last reading. A cycle of life, death comes to us all. The death card is an indicator of great change. It's time to let go of the past and be freed of its burdens. As with the season of winter, death is only temporary. In the spring, new life teems forth, and the cycle renews itself again and again. Follow the natural cycles of life and accept the inevitability of change. You may be going through a resurrection of sorts. Old situations have run their course. This is the end of a chapter of your life, allowing for the natural conclusion to a situation. Sorry, Leo, I had to make a quick adjustment. Now let's get our 3 tarot cards for our Leo Sun, Rising, Moon. 1, 2, 3. 2 of Swords, 8 of Cups, and 10 of Pentacles. Not 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. Okay. Well, definitely looks like something is culminating and coming to an end, and you're ready to move on. Because we have this 10 of Rods, so it's something that's become burdensome. Also, the 10s are always the cards that are the end. It goes just like a regular deck of cards, if you're not familiar. It starts with the Ace and goes to the 10. So the 10 is, you know, this is it. This is the most I can do. This is the farthest I can go with something. And it's time for it to end. And it's time for you to move on, you know. And for some it's 8. Maybe it's in this 8th month of August. Maybe it's been 8 years, 8 months. And you've just reached the point where you've made the decision. You're making the decision. And both of these have these moons on. We've got the, well, probably that's the first quarter, but it's, or last quarter or whatever. But this is, you know, I would say the new and the full moon. So we just, on the 9th, we had that full moon in Aquarius, in your opposite sign. That could have really illuminated something for you. You could have had a big illumination of, hey, this is just not working out. This is just not going up. It's just never going to turn around or get easier. It's time for me to move on. It's time for me to go forward. And the red cape she's wearing, that it's so you, Leo. You know, you have that red cape of, I know it's the red badge of courage, but I just heard the red cape of courage. So, and that's you, courage, you know, courage, cour, the heart. You know, that's where the word's derived from. It's derived from heart, the French for heart. And that's you, you know, that's the heart chakra. So you've got to follow your heart at this time. I mean, for some of you, maybe you're just going to be traveling and it's going to be a lot of work. Or for some of you, I feel too, it could be like you're going to be traveling and you say, hey, you know what, I'm going to live there. This was a great trip. I want to live here permanently. I'm going to work really hard so I can relocate to this place. That could be for some of you. And for some of you, it could be like you are moving during this time frame. You're moving during this season, and that, you know, it's going to take some time, a lot of hard work. Moving, it always is, you know, hard work and hard. It's a lot. So, but big changes are afoot. You know, after this end of August, when we go into September, we're going to be having those eclipse seasons. Now, it's not in your sign or anything, but everybody's affected by it, and I feel like that could also be with these moon energies standing out to me, these different luminaries or whatever phases of the moon. It feels to me like, you know, you guys could be making some big changes during the eclipse season and moving on to a different set of circumstances, a different lifestyle, my guides are saying. All right, Leo, clear the energy, because now we're going to do Virgo. Now, Virgo, you know, this is your season. It's your new moon. It's your first. There's going to be 2. There's going to be a new moon on the 23rd of August. And then next month, we're also going to have a late degree eclipse in your sign. So you are in it. You are in the thick of it. And the sun moves into your sign on the 22nd. So we're moving into your season. Very much a powerful time. The spotlight's on you. It's a good time to set your intentions. It's your astrological new year time as we move into your solar new year. Okay, let's get to, what is the card for Virgo Sun, Rising, Moon? Bloom. Yeah, bloom is a beautiful card of blossoming. It basically means like thrive, you know. That's the basic message of the bloom card. I'm going to hold it up here, and hopefully I'm trying to scroll through. You can pause the video, and if you see any words that stand out to you in the background, that's definitely the way that your guides and angels and spirits can come through and give a message that's just for you. Okay, I'm getting to it, scrolling through. Okay, bloom. All right, so bloom. Cultivate blossoming. Beauty ever abounding. When you have been cultivating, what you have been cultivating is beginning to bear fruit. You are shining in the sun, and the positive energy you are exuding is the fuel for all the beauty that surrounds you at this time. The beautiful summer garden hosts a variety of blooms, and so it is within your life. More than one area of your life is coming into fruition. Not the time to be a wallflower. This is the time to bask in the glory of all you have created. all you've nurtured and tended. All others are attracted to your beauty and grace at this wonderful moment. Well, yeah, like I said, it's very much like the sun card, you know, the sun being in your sign. It's your moment. You know, it's your season, and you're thriving. You know, it's a card of thriving. And to, you know, not be hiding out. You know, come out into the sunshine. Let the world see. Show yourself. Let the world see what you're all about. All right, let's get 3 cards for our Virgo from the Morgan Greer Tarot. I think I'd better cut them down here and then put them in place there. It's easier. King of Pentacles, that's a representation of you. Chariot and the Lovers. We had the Lovers in this exact same spot. And as a matter of fact, I believe that there was the King of Pentacles in that reading too. I think it was Aries. Because there was a fire sign. Maybe some of you might be involved with an Aries. You know, you might, I don't know how that would work out, but you know, there's always stuff. It's not just, oh, Aries and Virgo don't get along. You know, you got to look at your Venus, Mars, you got to look at everything. Okay, so here we go. Chariot is on the top of the crowning the reading. So Chariot could totally be a trip. Maybe you're going to get a romantic getaway with your loved one. Maybe you're just going to be traveling and going on a trip, and you could meet somebody while traveling. Or maybe you're going to get your mechanic. You know, getting your car fixed after Mercury retrogrades over. You're taking your car in for a tune-up or something, and you meet somebody during that. Or maybe it's unrelated, and you're just because you're in this bloom, thrive mode, that you're just in such a happy place because of the relationship, or it goes hand in hand. It's walking in conjunction with the beautiful energy of love just exuding from you. Now, King of Pentacles is a representation of you, but for some, I feel like that could be the Lover too. And don't these two, for some reason, today they kind of look alike to me, even though maybe not really. But they have a similar, you know, this yellow, well, his is his hair, and he has a yellow thing on his head. So, or maybe there's somebody who has blonde hair or dyes their hair blonde. You know, maybe that's going to be it for some of you. Maybe if you've been thinking about dyeing your hair blonde, or maybe you go get blonde in the summer like some people. My hair turns like sort of red and I get blonde streaks. Now I'm getting more gray in my hair, but you know, my hair changes color out in the sun too. So, you know, there's something here about being really happy and inclusive with other people, because at least one of these people is somebody else, you know. And it's showing partnering up. It's showing interacting with others. It's showing being happy. It's showing wonderful travel. For others of you, this could, King of Pentacles, this could be the money guy, right? So there could be some big money thing, and Chariot being that highest success card in the deck, that could be, you know, this highest success card. Maybe this is the boss, or the guy that hires you, or the person that hires you and says you've got the job, or you're going to be going on the business trip. For some, it could be your partner. Maybe this is your partner. They get the job. Whoever, they get the job. They're the ones who are getting it. But you know, you're happy too. Or maybe they get this big bonus, and you get to go on this trip. Or maybe the trip is like a work. You know, you can bring a spouse. You know, it's a work. You know, these conventions where you're in the convention room for a couple hours, but really it's just a big vacation. You know, something like that. And, you know, having some fun and taking off your work clothes and enjoying life a little bit here, Virgo, because I know you guys can just be workaholics. I'm like that too. I actually have quite a bit of Virgo stuff in my chart. I have, well, I'm the Pluto-Uranus Virgo generation of the 60s, but also I have a bunch of asteroids there. Big lineup. I have a big stellium of all my asteroids there too. All right, next, Libra. Hello, Libra. Hello. I'm hearing it for tootsie. That's what I'm hearing in my head. Remember that one? Tootsie, goodbye. Tootsie, don't cry. Oh, if you've never tuned in, if you're new here, my guides come through with these songs, and some of them are just really bangers. They're just bangers, baby. Okay, let's get your card for Libra. You know, this is a wonderful time, this second half. We're gearing up for the eclipse season. It affects everybody. And let's see what's the message for Libra today. Yeah, action. All right, lights, camera, action. Try to get it in a good spot. The light's changing outside in the window. We're getting some clouds rolling in, maybe some rain. But if you want to pause the video and read into some of those background words, zoom in, and you could probably get some messages. You know, it's definitely an option. Okay, so action, motion, activity, and movement. Things are moving quickly, propelling you into the future. You get the green light. The energy may seem a little wild and volatile at this time. Just try to stay focused and use this surge of momentum to break through any obstacles that have held you back. You are moving into the fast lane and are likely to be very busy at this time. If you can harness the energy and dive into the fury, much can be accomplished. Send those messages, emails, and resumes. Oops. Write down your thoughts, ideas as they are coming fast and furious. Take notes so that they don't slip through your fingers, lost forever. Yeah, this is kind of too, this could very much be associated with the Mercury going direct. So Mercury was retrograde, now it's turning direct. A lot of things that, you know, miscommunications, different things, going to start happening quickly. And, you know, things are really going to start moving forward here. Okay, let's get some, ooh, one flew out. When I said that, I heard one flew over the cuckoo's nest. We got the Hangman, so you've been pausing and waiting. It's completely different energies, by the way. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right, completely different energies. Hangman is about doing nothing, pausing, waiting. Let's see what happens. Again, I want to relate it to the Mercury retrograde. You know, things were not, it wasn't the time to act. But now we're going to hit the ground running while we're still in August. Some of you may be moving to a new home, or there may be something having to do with the property. The Emperor is part of it. Look how he looks over here. Like he feels like he's eager. He's ready to jump. He's ready to jump into action. He's ready to make things happen. He's ready to, you know, whatever you want to do, engage in on whatever level, you know, he's definitely ready to jump in there and do it. You know, he's action-oriented, they're saying. Sometimes the Emperor can talk about it, Aries, which is your opposite sign, so it could be a partnership. But I feel like the Emperor is the person, the traditional meaning of the person in the position of power, authority. And it's going to bring a lot of happiness to you. Some of you may get involved with this person, because this is my ode to the 8 of Rods in the tarot. And these arrows here, if you notice that, you know, those are like the 8 of Wands or 8 of Rods, if I could find it and show it to you. But in the tarot, that 8 of Wands also means, you know, the arrows of love hitting their mark. This deck is really similar to the actual 8 of Wands, the other one, I believe. Yeah, see. They have those, that's what this is too. So, and look who it's pointing at. Pointing right at this Emperor. So the gender is irrelevant. It could be anybody depending on your situation. So whatever you've been waiting for, all of a sudden it's happening, and the Emperor is taking you by the hand, is leading the way, is facilitating, helping this come into fruition. And it's going to lead to a lot of happiness around your home, definitely. Okay, let's move on to the next sign of Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, let's get some cards going. Oh, I want to do the Holy Hamza first for Scorpio. Yeah, the Jupiter thing was nice with your energy, and so is all this Virgo stuff. This is all nice with your energy. So Scorpio, it feels like you might be getting a break. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing that old, you deserve a break today, so get up and get away to McDonald's. Alright, the guides are coming in. They're breaking out their song and dance routines here. Let's see. Coming through with the crazy songs. Oh, this is interesting, and too goes with the astrology. Somebody else, I think it was Aries, went right along with the astrology, because we coming off I'm going to pull this up here. If you want to pause the video and look at the background words, you can maybe get some insights. But 9th house, learn. And it's even a 7 and 9 is 9 for learn. It's for the 9th house. That's why I made it add up to a 9. So, you know, it's interesting because the whole Venus-Jupiter conjunction thing that I was just talking about, you know, that was all in that 9th house for Scorpio rising anyway. But that is, you know, learning. That is all these kinds of things. Wisdom, education, knowledge. You may find yourself immersed in a field of study that you are passionate about. When our interests are sparked, it can be a sign from the universe that we are hot on the trail of aligning with our soul's purpose. Follow your interests. For your discoveries will lead you to more questions and further expansion of your knowledge base. In some cases, you may be currently in school or thinking about going back. For some, this could indicate a career in the educational field. This card may also indicate that you still have much to learn on a particular subject. Well, yeah, too. If you're a teacher, you're going to be going back to school this, end of August. That makes sense too. Let's see. Or if you're a student. Okay, Wheel of Fortune flipped out here. Let's get 2 more cards. We have the Chariot on top. That was for another reading, and the Wish card. Wow. Wowza, wowza, wowza. Wow. Scorpio, you definitely have the best reading this month. No doubt about it so far. So Wheel of Fortune, things are going in your favor. The wheel turns in your favor. Lady Luck smiles upon you. You're aligning with your destiny. Divine synchronicities are lining up to align you with Chariot, your highest aspirations. The highest success card in the deck. Rising high to, a new level. What's interesting about the Chariot card too, it's a 7, which is... but it also stands for each astrology sign has a major arcana card associated with it. And the astrology sign that is associated with the Chariot card, if you're still following, is Cancer. And we just had that Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer, nice trine to your energy. So wow, your wish is coming true. I mean, you just almost can't get better than this. Now what's interesting to me, we've got 2 major arcana and the Wish card. There's no particular subject assigned to this, basically. It's not like only for money, or only for love, or only for health, or only for this, or only for that. This could be whatever you want it to be. And it could be more than one thing coming to your, I keep looking at the 2 horses on this deck. So it could be 2 different things. This one goes this way, Wheel of Fortune, this is going to work out, and this one goes this way, and it's a Wish card, and this is going to work out. So really, really nice energy. You've got the 9 and the 10, things moving in sync. 9, 9, and 10. Well, it's a 27, but it adds up to 9. 9 and 10, and then there's double 7s in this. Lucky 7s, my guides are saying. So yeah, I mean, lucky, fortunate. This could be something really big for you. Opportunity to learn, expand, but for many of you may be the teacher. Even if it's not your formal, title, I'm a teacher, maybe you are the teacher. Because it's a teacher. And the band played on. Okay, next we're going to move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you're such a crazy pants. Okay, Saggies, let's get your cards for the upcoming second half of August. A lot of exciting things as we're moving into this. All this Venus, Virgo stuff, it squares to you, so absolutely could be making things happen, making changes in your life. It's not always a bad thing. Let's see what we got. We've got sound, what I just did there. Yeah, and that's exactly, there's a music card, but this is a different than the music card. This is the sound healing card. Or sound resonance, okay? Take a look, freeze the tape, freeze the video, pause the video if you want, and read into some of these back words. And if one stands out to you, definitely leave it in the comments, especially if it resonates. If you do take the time to pause the video and you get something from it. I always like to hear that. If you pick up something during the reading, definitely fill everybody in. Okay, vibes, resonance, acoustics. We are all immersed in a sonic field of energy. Sound has the ability to soothe a baby to sleep or break a glass. There is a field of frequencies surrounding us all. Tend to your field and your sacred space. Create resonance of peace and solace so that your divine manifestations may flourish. You may be in need of a sound bath emergence experience, whether a ceremony performed by a practitioner or something more personal in your own living space. Drums, chimes, singing bowls, and all may be conduits for raising vibrational frequencies or vibratory frequencies of your surroundings. Yeah, I was called to start doing this by my guides. I think sound energy is, I think it's part of the Gemini too, in some crazy way. If Uranus moving into Gemini, I feel like it's going to be part of, more and more part of I don't know, maybe our culture or whatever the case, more and more important in our lives, or those who are on the spiritual path, or those who are wanting to clear out their energy. Okay, let's go ahead and get 3 cards for Sagittarius for the second half of August 2025. Got the Hierophant, followed by Knight of Rods. He's been out before also in that position. And the Ace of Rods. Okay. The Hierophant is a lot of things. But in this instance, I'm feeling like with the sound resonance, like make it something, I'm hearing make it something holy. Now holy does not necessarily correlate to religion in it, for everybody, you know. But make it sacred, make it holy. Make your sacred space holy. These keys are there too. Could be the key, but keys make jingling sounds too, right? You do that with a baby, they have the keys, you know, you jingle the keys. So maybe it's even jingling some keys. It feels like doing a sound bath, doing a sound healing, especially as we're moving into these eclipse season, is going to really open up some doors for you energetically and then also in the real world. Looks like this could be a representation of you actually, but I felt that it was somebody else. But the Knight of Rods is the fire sign energy, which you are a part of. So it's Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries are the 3 fire signs. So it could be a representation of you, but it also could represent somebody else. It could be both. Everything's not cut and dry in these types of readings. Certainly not my readings. There's multi-layers, multi-tiers. And it's not just, well, it means this to one person and this to another. It could mean this to you and also this to you and also this to you. So there is this Hierophant again. It could be school, it could be big corporations. It's a lot of things, but it's really coming off as like a spiritual connection, you know, whether it's a meditation group or even a yoga class, or your actual, if you do belong to a church or something like that. But really, I feel like they keep saying, like, make it sacred. So make it sacred, make an effort or acknowledge, especially now that new moon in Virgo on the 23rd, that's at 0 degrees of Virgo, squaring up with your Sagittarius stuff. It's definitely a time of turning corners and new beginnings. You could make every day. I'm hearing that. Every little thing she does is magic. Every little do. Yeah, so make every little thing magic. You know, there's a little bit of magic in everything. You can do it with the simplest things, the simplest tasks, my guides are saying, with care and love. And it can expand out from just these little things in life to creating a much bigger effect on you, or even attracting this person if that's something that you're into, if this is another person in your case, not you. Okay, so let's go on and we're gonna move ahead. Tattoo detective, it's not too late to whip it. Sorry, I had to stop the tape, I was choking, but I was getting the download of that song Whip It by the not the Cars, but by Devo. And Devo used to wear some crazy hats. I don't know if you guys remember those flower pot hats, but it's not. I go, oh my God, the Hierophant. You know, that's the Hierophant was in there with that weird hat. Anyways, next let's clear the energy, and we're gonna move on to the sign of Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. I'm doing the wrong deck, so let's get the correct deck. Correct deck. It has a ring to it. Anyways, let's get a card going for our Capricorn and see what's coming up for you for the second half of August. It's space, the final frontier. So take a look at the card. Check the background words. Look at them. Does anything grab your attention? You might have to pause the video and check into it. And if you do get something, if something does stand out to you or you do get a message, by all means, definitely leave it in the comments, because I do like to hear about that. You know, I love to hear when people are getting additional insights from the cards that I created, other than, you know, just what my initial meanings from them. You know, I always love to, as it expands into its own, you know, space. Space! Future, stargazer, transcend. Blasting off, exploring new territory. The space card is inviting you to look beyond the mundane existence of the Earth plane. We are but one of a billion galaxies in the known universe, a mind-boggling fact indeed. There is much more than we mere mortals can even comprehend. The night sky can bring a sense of peace and wonderment as we bask in its vastness. You may have an affinity with or sense the presence of a higher expression of consciousness, perhaps otherworldly. On a more down-to-earth level, the space card may indicate an interest in astronomy, astrology, or even astrophysics. This card can also be a message of breaking free from limiting situations and blasting off into new possibilities that have never been explored before. You know, the third thing that came to mind while I was reading that came through is, you know, I know that in August there's a bunch of the meteor showers. I'm not sure which one, maybe the Perseus, don't quote me on that, you can look it up. But often the night sky in August is really a cool thing to just go out and look. I mean, I go out every night for a few minutes anyways when I'm letting my dog out. And I look up at the stars every night, I try to. And it just brings me, you know, a sense of peace. I like being outside at night. I wish I lived in a place where it was easier to do, where I feel it's like I could do that on a regular basis. But anyways, let's go ahead. Oh, this one flipped over. That Ace of Cups. Man, that Ace of Cups has been out more than once during this second half of the monthly reading. It's got Ace of Cups, Two of Swords, and the Queen of Rods, Queen of Fire. I'm hearing that song, Queen of Hearts, two hearts that beat as one. So for some of you, maybe there is a romantic, you know, connection. The Queen of Fire is the fire sign person. It doesn't have to be a female necessarily. It be whoever you're interested in. It might not be romantic, but since that card came through, two hearts that beat as one, I mean, that usually means romantic. Somebody's coming into your spectrum here, though. This Ace of Cups, a new relationship, a new beginning. Maybe it's a creative thing. Ace of Cups could be a new creative collaboration. There's a 2 here, which is usually this card is making a decision, but I feel like, you know, it's coming down. It's going down, 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 down. Yeah, it's coming in, it's coming down from space even, maybe, you know, like you're getting beamed in from space to 2 as 1, you know, make 2 as 1. For some it could be a baby being born. There's lots of different, you know, things it could be. 2 different babies. It's funny, I just was going to say 2 different babies being born. That could be the case too. But 2 different souls, you know, in the same body during a gestation of a pregnancy or something like that. It could be like that. Some of you are just going to be making a big decision. Somebody has an interest in you in the Ace of Cups way. So is that a love affair? Perhaps. Is it they want to be a creative collaborator with you? Perhaps. You know, they want their Ace of Cupping you. So they're being nice to you. They're trying to bring you in. You know, they want to interact with you, and it should be in a nice and friendly way. And it's this fire sign energy. The Queen of Rods also is very passionate. All the Rods people are the fire and passion. You know, we are going to be moving into Virgo until the 22nd too. So for some, this might be even before that. You know, in this first, you know, after the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, while we're still in Leo for that week before we can change the signs. For this is the mid-month, and 22nd will be like a week later, roughly. So maybe some of you, maybe this is some kind of higher dimensional spirit guide. I mean, I looked down here and that little alien in the ship really stood out to me. So maybe some of you are going to start channeling or tuning into your higher dimensional spirit guides, whether alien or whatever. It doesn't have to be alien necessarily, however you feel comfortable thinking about it or feeling about it. But there could be some communication coming through. You may be being on the verge of channeling and being like, oh, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. You know, I don't know if I like this. You know, because it can be a little scary. You know, when you first start. I don't know if you guys are aware, but I do channel, and I have actually 3 channeled books out. I have a 4th one written, but I haven't got around to formatting it or putting it together, and I'm still adding stuff all the time. I just posted a channel message that I got on Lionsgate. So it could be automatic writing, it could be a lot of things. Some of you, maybe this is your passion already. It's space, astrophysics, the stuff we were talking about, even astrology. And maybe this is going to be a teacher or somebody or even a friend who you're going to, you know, study it with, or get into it with, or go to events with, or something like that. Or a teacher. Could be a teacher for some people. But it looks really favorable and positive, exciting. It looks very exciting, Capricorn. Okay, next we're going to move on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, let me go ahead and get your first card from my Holy Hamza deck and see what we got. Party. I'm hearing that my girl wants to party all the time. I'm hearing these dance hits from the 80s, which I hated that era. That was not, I was working in bars, and that's the only reason I would know these songs, because I would never have listened to them in my real life. They would always be playing in the bars I worked at. But party all the time. My girl wants to party all the time. If you want to pause the video and take a look at the background, the two hearts that beat as one, and my girl wants to party all the time. That's all from that same era, maybe late 80s, early 90s sort of dance music era. But anyways, so maybe it's, you know, it's a time. People go on vacation. There's a lot of partying stuff going on at this time of year. There we go, 14. Whoops. Gift, gala, celebration, a whirlwind of festivities, a fun event, a party or doings. Your social calendar is full and you're having a blast. We all need some fun and frivolity in our lives, and the party card is a reminder of just that. While this card may be more of a general mood or tone, it also refers to a specific event. It may also. A birthday, an anniversary, holiday, or other date of significance. If so, the event may be a time frame which what you are seeking will appear. Sometimes this card may have an element of surprise. An unexpected gift could be heading your way. Oh, that'd be fun, huh? Okay, let's get some shuffling going here for our Aquarius friends. And let's get 3 cards for Aquarius for the second half of August. We have the 4 of Rods, the King of Rods, fire sign, and the Knight of Rods. So rods everywhere. Well, that's fire energy, so it could, like I was telling Capricorn, that might be before we move out of into Virgo on the 22nd. But when you have the Knight and the King, this is usually the same person, okay? And to look at the way the Knight looks this way, the King looks this way. Some of you may be running into an old flame. That's what I definitely feel. And I feel like they're very different people. When you knew them before as the Knight of Rods, that's not how they are. They've grown, they've matured, they are in a better place now. They're better. They're more seasoned. They're a veteran or a pro, a seasoned veteran or a seasoned pro. They may have lived near you. You may have even lived with this person at one time or dated them, you know, where you were spending a lot of time together. Some of you are looking for a house, and maybe your partner wants to go this neighborhood or this city, and then you want to go to another city. But I feel like there was once a very close connection with this person for most. I feel like this is representing the close connection you once shared. And at this party or whatever, you could definitely run into them. And something could pop, you know. If you run into them and you think, oh, not them. Oh, what a jerk off. They did this. I heard they left me at the altar. Well, if somebody left you at the altar, I don't know if you should be entertaining as the thought of being with them again. But maybe it could be a forgiveness thing in that case. But they very much changed. That's what I get. Before they only saw things that way, but now, and he looks almost at the past, like he sees, whoever, they see the error of their ways. Now that they're older and wiser, they realize that they were a big jerk, you know, back in the day. I've had that happen. I ran into somebody that I actually dated, for a couple of years. Yeah, well, maybe more than a year. I don't know if you can call it dating. You know, just to run around with them, but and I ran into him I was going to school, and he was there. I hadn't seen him long time, 10, 15 years. And he says, you know, when I was younger, I did a lot of stupid stuff, and, you know, I'm really sorry. You know, I was completely shocked, you know, because he was a big jerk off too to me. So that does happen. He's dead now too. He's actually a Sagittarius. And then when I got on social media, he was very nice and kind to me too. You know, and we became social media friends. You know, and up until when he died, he was very nice and kind to me. So I do believe that he really had changed, you know, and that he was just, like they say, but this is what's coming through. This is a little crude, but young and dumb and full of cum, you know. When people are young, I did a lot of stupid stuff when I was young too. It's not just it's not exclusive to men in any way. You know, I did a lot of stupid stuff. We used to say, way before Nike, we used to say, don't think about it, just do it. That was our motto. I don't know if that's a good motto to live by, you know. But anyways, so anyways, if somebody turns up, it may be divine timing. It may be more, don't be so quick to, it could even be like, but it seems like it might be in person at a house party even. But it may even be on social media, you know. Maybe it's somebody you haven't heard from in years and they friend you on social media or start following you, whatever the case. And it's just like, ooh, them. But then you find out, hey, they've grown, they've changed, and they're a different person now. And maybe you two could really be a good match. Maybe it was just the timing wasn't right. You know, you were too young. What am I hearing? When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and live, live. You know you did, you know you did, you know you did. But anyway, let's not go into the whole song. Living like that. Clear that energy out of here because it's time for Pisces reading. Okay, Pisces. Well, you know, you're another water sign. You know, Scorpio had a great reading. But with this, all this Sun, Jupiter stuff, and then even the Virgo energy, water sign, you guys are, it's good energy for you. You could really work with this. You could really see some positive results that are fun and, you know, just positive. Okay, let's go ahead and get a cut for our Pisces for second half of August. Yin Yang, bringing things into balance. Yeah, the Yin Yang is all about the balance. I'll hold it up. If you want to pause the video and take a look at those background words, you could absolutely get some kind of a message, perhaps, from some of those words. And if you do, please do put it in the comments, because like I said before, you know, always interested in what other people, I love to see my decks, you know, expand, and more people, you know, how they interpret it or what they feel from it and their input. I love to hear that. Okay, balance, duality, synergy. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Heaven and earth, dark and light, good and evil, two sides of the same coin. The yin is the dark feminine, and the yang is the masculine sunlight. Together they are whole, complete, united. The yin-yang card is a call to bring balance into your life. Work and play, wake and sleep, balanced diet and nutrition. In a relationship, it may signify harmony and mutually supportive situation. Where one may lack, the other excels, which makes for a great team. It certainly does, Ali. It certainly does. Okay, let's get three. I gotta shuffle up first. Let me get a little bit of shuffling. And then we're going to do 3 cards for our Pisces. 1, 2, and 3. And we've got the 6 of Wands. Nice card. Victory, triumph. 10 of Wands, after working very hard. And finally, the Lovers. Boy, the Lovers has been out quite a bit from this deck. So, you know, some of you with the yin-yang, you know, this whole thing, with the where one may lack, the other excels. A mutually supportive situation. All these types of things where you balance each other out. 10 of Wands, you know, you've been working hard. I feel like for many, you've been working hard on yourself. You know, especially when Saturn in your sign. While Saturn was going in your sign, it probably going through your sign. That was over the past 3 years. It's in Aries now. It's actually going to go back, touch back into your sign for just a minute here later in the year. But then it'll be back out and in an Aries full swing. You know, you'll be done for 30 years. But yeah, while Saturn was going through Pisces, it could really have, you know, brought some things to the surface. Was a call to action, my guides are saying. It was a call to action for you to take a look at yourself and work on yourself. Take a look at yourself. What am I hearing? Oh, it's some 70s song. It's either Styx or Take a look at yourself. What's that other one? I don't like either. I can't stand that band. Everybody thinks they're so good. I better not say then, because why say anything negative? I can't. Take a look at yourself is the lyric. I think it sticks, maybe. But anyways, you've done that. You've done the work. You've done the hard work. And now you may be ready to enter into a relationship fully refreshed, fully new, respecting and loving yourself, and in a respectful and loving situation. In a love reading, this card talks about somebody who really treats you very well, puts you on his pedestal, you know, respects the F out of you, you know. It's interesting here, we got a 6 and a 6, and then we got a 10, and then a 3 plus 7 equals 10. So 6s and 10s. You might want to think about that. Now, astrology-wise, we could, well, I was thinking of 6 and 10s as far as time frames, or even birthdays or something. But so that could apply as well. But let's look at this. If you're Pisces rising, 6th house is Leo, okay, and then the 10th house is Sagittarius. So could even be maybe a Leo or Sagittarius. We're still in Leo time until the 22nd, so it could be during Leo time. But you could really, after, if you've put in the work, it feels like that's the key thing here. And then you would find somebody who's also done the work as well, okay? You could find somebody who's also done the work, and you could have a different kind of relationship than you've ever had before. For some of you, maybe you're in a long-term relationship and you've gone to some sort of couples therapy or something like that. And you've learned new coping skills, and after the hard work, it pays off because your relationships are better. Or maybe it's not even couples therapy. Maybe you're doing your own work and your own therapy, and this is, you know, you're seeing the results. Your relationships are improving. You're having more loving relationships on whatever level, and you're finding more balance in your life. Well, whatever the case, it's all good. Your hard work is paying off, and you seem to be in a more loving and smooth kind of smooth operator. I'm hearing now too. I don't know. First I heard the Carlos Santana, then now I'm hearing Sade. So take your pick. But anyways, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you picked up anything in these readings, please do leave it in the comments. I always love to hear your comments and feedback. Don't forget, if you want to get a reading from me or anything else, I'm over here at vickieverlie.com. But anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have the best month of August, the best second half of August. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate, and we'll be back again soon with another reading. Till then, bye.